Hello. So if you watch the video immediately before this one, you'll listen. One of the updates that I mentioned is nightmares. So I am still taking and increasing the dosage slowly according to how my psychiatrist has told me to increase. Um, it's very important. Like, always just do what the psychiatrist says. Like, don't give in to your pride and be like, oh, I know what I'm doing. Because no, we don't. We're not the psychiatrist. um, so just make sure you do what your psychiatrist says. And so that's what I'm doing. I've increased my level of what's supposed to help me. It's called prazosin. It reduces my blood pressure um, to keep me from having a lot of physical side effects from nightmares that I have, and therefore reduce the nightmares. So I was doing really well with it at first, and the CPAP machine. So those two are very important for me because I have a very mild case of obstructive sleep apnea. So I need to sleep with a CPAP machine to keep air flowing through my body so that my body can enter the deep sleep cycle and REM cycle, and those are the restorative cycles of sleep. So I've, even with my CPAP and the prazosin is at a higher level now, I've noticed the past couple weeks my nightmares are back. I'm going to be discussing this with my psychiatrist on Thursday, and I'll just write a note to her on our virtual platform. In the meantime, it's the beauty of these virtual visits and virtual health is I don't have to spend, like, when I saw therapists or psychiatrists in person, you spend a chunk of the time playing catch up. CATCH, not KETCHUP. Food ketchup is kind of gross to me. So you spend a lot of time regrouping and figuring out, like, just where you were the past week. But with these virtual platforms, you're able to keep your therapist or psychiatrist updated, so you can just spend the whole time talking about what you want to talk about because everybody's up to speed, up to pace, up to the same page. So where you're at that day. So that's another reason I really support and promote virtual visits, and how well they're working for me. So in the last video, I mentioned that I would make another video dedicated to talking about my nightmares. So I'm sure that this has piqued the interest of some people because dreams are fascinating for any human being. And for me, I have very significant nightmares that, like I said, like, I wake up, even with the prazosin and my CPAP, I'm waking up. I've noticed a few times the past couple weeks, I'll wake up in a sweat. I'm sweating and my heart is pounding. And in the past, before the prazosin or the CPAP, I would have nights that I would wake up just from a dead sleep, just suddenly like sitting up, like shaking myself awake and like gasping for air, and like I have to take like a half hour to figure out, like process what's happening and figure out what's reality and what was my dream. And there are nights that I would wake up, like, I mean, the past few months, my husband and I haven't been able to regularly like share the same bed because the kids want one of us in their room to sleep through the night. So but whenever we are able to sleep together in the same bed, there are a lot of nights that I've woken up, I mean, throughout our relationship, that I'll wake up just shaking myself awake from my dream. And I will wake up and I will like cling on to him really tight, like, just like, oh my gosh, like, thank God this is my reality. Thank God you're here. Like, my goodness, like, it's just comfort. And, just really happy to be with him. And so I'm relieved to come back from my dreams and realize that this is my life. So So what goes on in my head? What am I experiencing? I experience a lot of things. So like my dreams, my nightmares. Okay, so when I say dreams, they're nightmares because as long as I can remember, my dreams are always nightmares. From when I was really little, it was always tornado dreams. And as I've gotten older, they progress into different things. Like my last pregnancy, it was a zombie apocalypse, like seeing the blood and gore and like the feeling that fear of running away from the zombies. Very, very, you know, these are, I feel like I go into another world because it is so real. It is so vivid. It I literally feel like I go to a different world and I come back to this world, to reality. And I do have a lot of days that I have to filter out, okay, this is what happened in the nightmare and this is your real life. And very often I wake up from my dreams, my nightmares, and I am filled with a profound sense of gratitude and of or for my life. Because my dreams are just so bad. So, the past couple weeks, I'll just share because like I can't keep track of every night. Like I can't even keep track of the days as it is. Being a mother and being the stay-at-home parent, and then also like this has happened for a lot of people with COVID. Like we just can't keep track of our days anymore. So I'll just share different details like, oh, this happened in the like in a dream and whatever. So, um one dream that really struck me um the past week, it was a few days ago actually, was um a rape dream. So I don't actively think about the ex-boyfriend from high school slash beginning of college. I don't actively think about that person, that individual, um on a day-to-day basis at all. The only reason I'll think about that person is the nightmares whenever these I don't know, I don't know how my body chooses what to process and what to dream about, but if I have a nightmare of that individual, I'll be that individual comes up, or like um sometimes on Facebook I'll see a mutual friend, I'll see that name pop up and like that person is blocked, so I'll just see the name and I'm like, so I'll see that name and like my heart immediately is just like do 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 do. So that's a PTSD response. And then oh, I have had instances of I'll just like be walking through a grocery store or an event or somewhere. Someone will look like that person and I immediately like time stops and my heart is pounding like I'm like, it's just my breath is taken out for a second. And then I'm like I have to like figure out if this person is that person. And that's also a PTSD response. So thankfully everything's been a no, but if somebody looks like them, sounds like them, then yeah, they naturally come up in my mind. So anyways, I have this nightmare this past week. And I've had nightmares like around the anniversaries of the time of year that um like some trauma with this individual happened at that time in my life that it happened. And in the nightmares, it'll be usually like, oh, you think you can forget about me? So like very explicit in the dream. And that'll be it. But, and like I say, I don't even think about this person on a day-to-day basis. And then I have this rape dream, like very vivid, very, I'm there and I'm being raped over and over again. And I haven't thought about this person. So I don't know how my body decides what to dream about. And then like last night, so I know what triggered it was I went to sleep before the kids and my husband got home. He took them out for a little just some time out together while I was out on my own. And so I remember kind of like being like half awake and like hearing the baby crying as he was like falling asleep. So I know that that's what triggered these dreams. So my dreams last night were about I've had a lot of dreams. A lot of the nightmares lately has been about my family of origin. So that's my parents and my siblings, and like dynamics of that were emotionally challenging living with them. And so everything's like brought back and it's very real and it feels like it's happening. Like, so I got a good night of sleep last night, but it seems that a lot of my sleep was that dream. Even though I know that dreams only last a tiny bit, and there's like tons of dreams that every person has every night that we don't remember. But this dream was just so emotionally charged that like I got a good night's sleep with the CPAP and the Prazosin, but I woke up once with the baby to eat, for him to eat. But even though I'm tired from the emotional drain that this dream was. So this dream last night was so I don't know why I have these dreams, but especially since going no contact with my family of origin last May/June of 2020. I will often have dreams that I'm living with them for whatever reason. And I'm trying to my hardest to like get my own apartment, like get out of living with them. And I also have dreams of like my like one or two of my babies will be like their children, and I'm taking care of them and I'm really invested in them, and I want to leave and establish my own life, but I want to take the babies with me. Or like if in the dream they are my babies, I feel like I have to like fight for whatever reasons in the dream to bring my babies with me. And I'm very, very protective of the babies in the dream. And it's super emotionally taxing. Like I'm sobbing and just like, whenever your heart literally aches in real life, that's what I'm experiencing in the dream. Like last night, I was crying about, like sobbing about the idea of leaving the babies. Like I wanted to do something, but I had to like leave the babies, and I did not want to do that. And so there was that. And then another part of the dream, as I'm going as I'm explaining it, more is coming back to me. Another part of the dream, somebody was trying to kill my family and my family. Like I was safe and the kids were safe to an extent, but my husband was in danger for whatever reason in the dream. So I was spending the dream. We were moving out of a house and I had to hide all of his possessions, like sneak them into like the packing and moving out. And we were just trying to get out as soon as possible. And then our plans were foiled. I don't know, something happened that there was this one man who was being picked on by these other people at a park that I was like witnessing. And so I go up to these people and I tell them like that they need to stop. That they need to stop like with the violence. And these people all turn around and they basically gang up and telling me that they love the violence, they want to be violent. And so I was just gonna be on my way, but they ended up like literally ganging up, and they were trying to kill me. So I spend the rest of the dream trying to escape these people, and they keep finding me and like trying to kill me. And oh my gosh, sorry, I just realized this part of the dream and it's just really bad. But oh, I'm almost up on time. So but anyways, real short, I am trying to drive away with the kids. My two daughters end up with somebody else, and these people intentionally got them in a wreck that was really bad, and I just spent the rest of the dream sobbing. So this is part of my nightmares.